Yo, we're talking body language, non-verbal communication, and everything in between. We talk game here, yeah? Everyday Superpower signing in. Yo, we're gonna go where not many go on the realms of attraction, but you know we cover the deepness of human biological attraction, seduction, love, and relation. Today I'm talking pheromones, people. Yo, this one goes out to the men, as I'm going to be talking about yours and my pheromones. I mean, we can briefly cover the woman, but we'll save that for another video. And to put a long story short, it works very alike, okay? So, we naturally have an aromatic allure. Yeah? It's a hormone. Testosterone. It, on a fragrant level, has a sweaty, animalistic smell, okay? Potentially neutral of a fragrance. Some may find it appealing, some might not, but for the most part it will be under the radar. It will be subliminal in nature. We won't consciously pick up on it. And I'm speaking in regards to women, okay, a woman's perspective, yeah? And I say that as in studies, testosterone stimulates sexually responsive parts of a woman's brain, the hypothalamus, yeah, which I won't be saying much in this video, yeah, it's a mouthful, but not those of a man. How mad is that? That's biology, yeah. You can say you are what you are, but the brain wants to believe what the brain wants to believe, and the mind is what the mind is, and the woman will absorb this natural musk, and the man won't, and the vice versa when it comes to estrogen, and the animalistic scent. Her fellow woman won't be able to non-consciously absorb the message that the man will on the release of these chemicals. Okay? We respond to these pheromones outside of conscious awareness, yeah? For the most part, I mean, if you're lying in bed with a partner, which happens, yeah? Sometimes, you know, you've done your thing, had a day, you've been busy and stuff, you smell like man, yeah? That's pheromone. I'm no stranger to a woman saying, "Whoa, you smell good, blah de blah." And I'm thinking, I just come from the gym. I smell sweaty. But the woman perceives it in a different manner, such as the man perceives the vice versa. When the woman's been a bit flustered, you know? I mean, these pheromones still exist regardless. You can come straight out of the shower and it still will be a thing, but perhaps to a lesser extent. So, these scents, at least the strongest aromas, are emitted by a particular gland in your underarms, yeah? Personally, I mean, I used to be one for a fruity fragrance and all that. I liked throwing on a nice aftershave and that, but so after picking up this game, I stopped doing that. If you keep relatively clean, you know. I mean, there's a a fine balance in regards to what I'm discussing here, as we're talking about musks and a natural masculine smell. So being squeaky clean actually, oddly enough, might be to some extent detrimental as far as the utilization of your natural odor. I'm not saying you want to get dirty and go without washing, but you know, that's a balance I want you to work out and to understand. So for the most part, the odor stems from your underarms. Now, I was speaking on aftershave for a minute then. I stopped wearing it. And in all fairness, I'd advise the same. Your natural odor, the masculine, will attract the feminine, such as the feminine attracts the masculine. And to disguise and to conceal that which is masculine is only going to be of a diminishing factor for your relations with women. It's not going to do you much good. You're going to minimize nature's way. And as an animal, you already have the tools. Your body does what it needs to do as far as the attraction process, the attention grabbing process. So if you're having trouble with attracting women, engaging with women, seducing women, you want to ensure that which you do already have is emphasized and highlighted. I wouldn't cover it up. Okay, but like I said, you have to find a balance. Yeah? Have you ever met someone? Now this is a bit of a side note. I'm going to sneeze one more. Bit of hay fever. Alright, let's get back to it, yeah? I don't know if you caught that in my voice throughout this video, but yeah, I've been holding that off for about 2 days, that sneeze. So, it's kind of a relevant comment, but it's also a side note. This is a man thing, yeah? You don't really come across it too often with women, in my opinion. Or at least from my experience. Have you ever got talking to a fella, or have you ever known a man, and this has sort of become a little bit of a character trait of his, just wearing too much deodorant, wearing too much aftershave? Now, this may come from a place of insecurity. Maybe someone told him he smelt bad in high school or something and embarrassed him for it, and ever since he sort of had to disguise that, you know? Because I think dousing oneself in like fragrance quite often will have a psychological undertone, like a overcompensation element to it. But I knew a fella who, you know, read a few books, thought he was cool, thought he could go out, chat to women and all that, and he used to douse himself in deodorant, like to a degree where it'd be uncomfortable being around him, because you'd think, wow, that's a bit too much. You know where I'm coming from? That is actually contrary to what he should be doing, as he is creating an artificial element to become part of, well, to add on to who he is, as opposed to expressing his core self and the beautiful, natural, subliminal message that his pheromones carry, which do half of the job for him, you know? Women are 5 times more sensitive to aromas than men are, okay? Such as more sensitive to touch, more sensitive to the peripheral view. Women have got a great sense, well, have got great senses, let's be fair, relative to the man. So, as a man, it would make sense to not go out there stinking, because you might not perceive it as a woman does. But you want to be aware that, you know, if you've just been training and stuff, and you haven't, you know, you're not coming out soaking or out, hey, you might be all right to let it ride for a minute if you're not too bad for the day, you know. Sounds ridiculous. Some people would grimace at it, but the proof is in the pudding, people, honestly. Okay? It's a chemical message. And I hope you understood that, yeah? I'd like you to continue doing a bit more research. I'm going to go into this myself. On interval, I'm going to go into estrogen, and I'm going to go and cover some of the hormones, if that's what you're interested in. What creates man and woman, and how they communicate, man to woman. And I'm going to sign out, people. Peace.